it. Today's the day. Hello you lot, Miller Corner here, welcome back once again, and today is a very special day because after teasing it for weeks now, it's finally time for me to reveal my new project, and in the process I'm going to be doing so on a new camera. That's right, I've now changed my camera setup. I've got a new camera, so bear with me if there are a few slight technical difficulties and bits that don't look or seem quite right with this one, but I am working on it. I am going to get to know this camera, and of course the quality will then improve from there. Anyway, before I reveal the new project, a little bit of background. Those of you that saw my video a few weeks back on why you, even as a car fan, need to start watching British superbike racing might wonder how I've become such an expert on it after supposedly having never seen it before. Actually, I have been watching British Superbike for years. My dad and I have been watching it for about 4 or 5 years now, and we've gone and watched the various rounds at Brands Hatch. We were at Thruxton a couple of weeks back, and we absolutely love it. Being amongst superbikes, being in the atmosphere of the racing, it's easy to get enveloped in it. All the people there that are into it, the sound and the smell and the excitement of the racing, it's really, really easy to get into bike racing when you're in that atmosphere. And every single time we've gone to one of those BSB races, I've come away and said to my dad, I've got to get a bike. That's it, I have to do it. I've got to get one now. And every single time it has not happened because of money issues, because of time issues. But with the Super Seicento temporarily off the road while it's being rebuilt, and me in the temporary daily Seicento, that left a nice little gap in my life where I can put some money, some time and some enthusiasm into potentially a brand new project. So let me introduce to you all my new project, a 2007 Yamaha YBR125. So after all this time obsessing over and watching the racing of bikes, I finally bought one myself. I can't believe it. That is my bike right there, no word of a lie. I bought this about 2 weeks ago, and I've been riding it around ever since with just the biggest grin ever hidden under my helmet. This is just, oh my god, I finally did it. I bought a bike. This is so freaking cool. Now this might seem a little bit odd, a car guy turned bike guy. Am I leaving cars behind now? Oh no, the love for cars never dies, but petrol head through and through means that there are very much room for some bikes in my life too, and this little Yamaha will be the first of what I'm sure will be many bikes to come in the future. So since this is basically the first bike you'll have seen on my channel up close, we're going to do a proper look round of my first bike. So much like we did with the red temporary daily Seicento, we're going to be doing a proper POV of this, my 2007 Yamaha YBR125. Now the 07 ones were the last model year of this shape one. These were the last ones to be carburetted, and this is actually the first vehicle I've ever owned, let alone driven, to have a carb on it. So the first thing in the morning, you flick a little switch down there, we'll show you in a minute, to put the choke on to kind of get it started up, let it idle quite high for a few minutes and gradually turn it down as it settles out. It's kind of an interesting experience, and it must be said, if and when I do get a classic car in the future, I will need to know how to do that. So having a choke on this is no bad thing, and it does mean it's super simple and really, really easy to tweak and tune if it's not running quite right. So in the future, I'm sure there will be me learning and of course doing a video about how to tune the running of your bike with the carb. In the 08 version, they went to injected and it all got a bit more modern and high tech, but this is old school and simple and easy to work on, which is also what I want to do with this bike. I want to learn how to work on bikes more. I want to change a chain and sprocket. I want to do a bike service. I, of course, as I said, want to do some stuff with the carb. So this little simple bike is perfect for me. I'm going to be learning so much about riding, owning and working on bikes from this simple little Yamaha. From the front here we can see it's had a little bit of battle damage here, but to be fair, this is a 125, so it will have been a lot of people's first bike to kind of learn on. Actually, to put it into perspective, this is only actually an 11-year-old bike. I'm the 8th owner of it, so in 11 years it's had 8 owners, which goes to show there's probably a lot of people that have had it for a year, ridden it around, got to know learning to ride and learning to work on bikes, and then sold this and moved on to something bigger. So yep, owner number 8 in just 11 years. If a car had that many owners in 11 years, you'd worry there was something wrong with it. But with a little 125 learner bike like this, kind of makes perfect sense really. The mileage might surprise you, because the thing is, this is ultimately a low cc bike. It will have been used by learners to kind of develop their skills and probably to ride short distances around town. It's ultimately what's known as a small commuter bike. So despite the fact it's had 7 owners before me in its 11-year life, the mileage is just 10,500. That's right, it's 11 years old and it's barely done 10,000 miles with 7 owners. Show me a car with that kind of mileage and owner count and I'll show you a car that's been owned by various old ladies. Now, I've already had people comment on this thing, the L plate on the windscreen, which I won't deny is pretty hideous. But to be perfectly honest with you, in the UK at least, that is a legal requirement. You have to have a full L plate that cannot be cut down. It must be on display clearly from the front of the bike and the back as well. So for as unfortunate and as hideous as this does look, unfortunately it is mandatory. But then again, it does show people that I am a novice, and to be frank, I do need to improve a fair bit. So ugly but necessary. Now this is the YBR125, but not the YBR125 Custom. And for a 125, it must be said, this does look pretty damn sporty. We've got the kind of flicked up fairings there, the tank's kind of swooping around and quite smooth. For a little 125, this thing looks pretty awesome. I've seen some 125s that look downright awkward and terrible, and you'd probably be embarrassed to get off of, but this one looks alright. Front disc brake there, which is drilled, which as we know from the Super Seicento adds braking efficiency, so we like that. Down here, the engine. Now we need to talk about this. The aforementioned little lever for adjusting the choke, that is fully on. That is of course fully off, so yep, you can kind of tweak that as the engine's idling when you first start it up to make the bike run more smoothly, and that's something I'm getting used to. Now there are some things on the bike that I do want to change. For a start, these stickers that say Yamaha Brilliant Riding on them, I hate, quite frankly. They're tatty, they're peeling off, and they're just stupid. We'll get rid of those. The stickers here with YBR125 on, I think I am going to leave these on, because you can imagine it without that, that would look quite bare, and I think it kind of needs something there. So they're in good nick, and I kind of like the look of them, so they are staying on, unlike those. And there's a weird sticker, JYM1252. Not quite sure what it is or why it's there, but that will probably come off at some point as well. Unusually for a 125, this thing also has rear foot pegs, because supposedly you could carry a pillion passenger. I suppose so. I mean, I have seen pillion seats that offer a lot less than that. You probably could get an adult human on that pillion seat. I'm not going to be doing it because I'm not insured to ride pillion passengers, but the foot pegs are there. If you've got a YBR125 and you want to get someone back here, they won't hate you too much. I have got this sort of luggage rack on there. I'm undecided whether to keep this or not yet. I do know if I do keep it, it's not staying chrome. It's going to be going black, as with a few other bits on the bike, but I'm not sure whether to keep this on or not. So let me know in the comments below. Should I keep the rack? Should I bin it off? Not quite sure, but let me know. We've got a completely standard and slightly sort of chromey reflecty exhaust system, which it must be said, it's actually in really good nick. If this is the original silencer, I'm impressed. It actually sounds really, really decent for a little 125. The engine, it's a 125cc 4-stroke bike, and what that means is it's decently refined, it's got some pickup, but you do not get that horrible 2-stroke smoke, noise, and almost total lack of power. I hate 2-stroke bikes, and I hate that some bike manufacturers still think it's acceptable to sell brand new 2-strokes, because they are just awful. This YBR125 is a 4-stroke, and it is all the better, smoother, and altogether more pleasant for it. The original chrome petrol cap, that's all good. Got some Japanese stickers here, don't know what they are or where they're from, but there you go. Japanese experts, what does that say? And if you can read it, what does that say? But they're pretty cool. I'm leaving those on. They are some very funky JDM stickers, so I get some mad JDM cred. It's had a brand new rear shock on it, which means the bike actually rides really, really nicely, to be fair. To get to this bit where I'm filming now, that bit of the car park there is really, really bumpy and rutty. In the Super Seicento, I pretty much headbutt the roof, but on the bike, it's actually pretty smooth and alright, which I was worried about. So there you go. It is starting to rain, but I am just going to step back and show you the bike in kind of wide profile, because with the kind of flicked up bits of fairing there where the indicators are, and gorgeous shade of blue, I really, really like this, and I'm going to give it a proper clean and polish up up, get it shining and looking even more awesome. I think the bike actually looks really, really, really cool, doesn't it? Doesn't look too small like a lot of 125s fall into the trap of, and it certainly doesn't look awkward and embarrassing like some of these weird Chinese brands, and to be fair, some of the Japanese ones do. And if you're the sort of person like me that doesn't like the Harley Davidson style, doesn't like the kind of cruising style bikes, but you don't want something where you're laying right across the tank, this is actually a pretty good compromise for a first bike. It's comfortable, it's easy to ride, you can ride it sitting upright, you can lean down it a bit if you want, but of course you do still need to be able to see over. This is a really, really comfy bike to ride. I'm a tall guy, I'm nearly 6'2", and when I'm on the bike, it's got a really, really nice riding position, and the seat is decently soft. This is actually a really, really comfy bike to ride fairly long distance. I had to ride it back about 40-50 miles from the guy I bought it from. I can't complain about the ride quality, it's decent, I like it. And there you go, there's a new camera. Hello camera. So there it is, my new project, my 2007 Yamaha YBR125, and I'm already absolutely loving it. I've driven some fun cars over the years that you can flick into the corners really easily and are really communicative and precise, but they are nothing on the feeling of a bike. If you can go into a corner looking where you want to go, tuck down, knock the bike down a gear and throw it in and flow between the corners, particularly on a nice British B road, there is almost no better feeling than riding a bike. It is just so much damn fun, and you'll always take the long way home just to experience a few more corners, and the freedom of riding a bike, it's so much fun. And if anything, for as much as I love riding this thing, I'm actually kind of cross with myself. I've been able to legally ride a bike for almost 3 years now, so why haven't I done it sooner? I should have got a bike, and you need to get one too. They are awesome. There's going to be a lot of biking content to come. I want to teach you how to ride a bike well, how to work on a bike, how to tune it, basic modifications you can do, and why you, even as a car fan, need to consider getting a bike if you haven't already. I am so freaking excited for this, for everything that's to come, the adventures, learning to work on the bike, learning more about bike culture, and of course sharing all of it with you. So if you want to follow me on everything that's to come with the adventures with my new bike, then make sure to click that subscribe button and also the bell icon so that you are notified when a new Miller Corner video is released. But for now, thanks very much for watching everybody, and have a brilliant rest of your day. See you soon, ride safely, and have a good one. I'm suited and booted, I'm just about to get going, and no better time for it really, because the weather is turning, it's just starting to rain. But anyway, I can't wait any longer to get on the bike. Let's go.